Well, I'm plumb making a mess of collards. Or maybe I'm making a mess of collards. I had this brilliant plan, right? Oh, I'll take the big bunch and I'll cut up all those greens and I'll keep the stalks and cook them separately. That way I have more. Well, there's the stalks. And there's still another bunch in the fridge. That was some collards for $3.18. I'm not making fun of Southerners. Okay, I'm mocking Southerners. I I am currently a Southerner. I always like Southerners. I love Virginia. The accent is just too cute. Okay, so what do I got going here? A mess of collards. A messy mess of collards. They are really sandy, by the way. Yes, full of sand. Uh, when I was thinking collards in my mind, well, the last time I bought collards, it was in a big bag, all cleaned up and ready to go. Yeah, this is much different. This is like right out of the garden, and that's cool. I can handle this. Um, so yeah, I'm just trying to get all the sand out of it and hope to whatever that when I cook it in my broth, it's not going to be gritty in my teeth. Also, what I got going back here is I've been cooking these forever. 2.5 hours, my rump. What do I got in here? Well, I soaked those pink beans all night. Did it make any difference? Not really. And I got in here onion, like 6 big fat cloves of garlic. And I gotta tell you, this time the garlic was really, really nice. And Maggie picked me out a couple of them. Look at that bad boy. I used almost half of that. And I still got a ton. And so onions, garlic, bay leaf, some, what the heck is that stuff called? That stuff is called coriander. And vegetable broth. And I don't know if it's done yet. Let me try one. Hey! Why, I think they're done! It's a miracle! It did not need 10 cups of water. This bag is completely incorrect. It did not need 10 cups of water. It said, well, I can't read it because it's too small. Where's my magnifying glass? My bad. It said only 6 cups, and that's exactly what I used. Not quite. I couldn't quite get the last of that water in to make it 6 cups, but that's cool because all worked out well, and there's still liquid right in the beans, and I'm just going to leave it right on top of that stove top because there's a little teensy weensy bit of crunchiness there. Just a little teensy weensy bit. So I can now throw this bag away. My beans are done. I'm going to portion them out and freeze like, 2 cups in each container, maybe 3, so that, if Bonnie wants any in any of her meals, we'll just pull them out the night before, heat them up. Meanwhile, the collards. Let me keep trying to rinse and stuff those into my aroma pot. How long do you cook collards? I gotta look that up. I'll be back. I can't cook my potatoes because the only 2 big pots I have are in use. But I do have my coffee pot, which needs to be emptied and washed. And then I could put as many potatoes and water as I could fit in this and boil it. Because I'm having mashed potatoes with my collards and beans. Yeah. Yeah. Honey, I'm gonna mess up your collards. Try saying that to a northern guy. So I have my potatoes all pre-cut. Oops! I have my potatoes all pre-cut and they're in, let me show you. Well, now I'm just gonna have to pick up this mess. Oh my. I am the worst cook ever. I can't film, I can't cook, can't do much anything, can I? What a catch. How did Dennis put up with me for that long? Wait a minute. Where are they? Where are they? They're right here. It's my bread pan, and I put water and potatoes, and they're sitting in there now. So they don't go brown, right? So I'm gonna cook this much of them, and then I'm gonna cook the rest of them afterwards. Rear on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The long and short of it. Meanwhile, my green... Straighten out. Why aren't you sitting right? My greens are cooking in the aroma pot. Hear them? Yeah. And my beans seem to be like done. Greens and beans. Amen. And potatoes. You know, I used to love, I first tried collards out, and of course they have a lot of pork in them down in south. So we'd always come through Hillsville, Virginia. Oh, I like that area so much. We had land up there twice. We had both pieces in Dougspur, Virginia. That's where we could afford it. Now we couldn't afford it at all. I sold my last piece of land in 2019. A nice 7-acre wooded lot. So our first piece was also 7 acres on a hilltop, and you could see Buffalo Mountain and Pilot Mountain. You could just see everything. It was a panoramic view, drop dead gorgeous. But Dennis said, I'm a merchant, not a farmer. And so after he plowed the field, he got his stuff together, and I said, you're not leaving me behind, I'm coming too. Packed up the kids and we went back on the road. Anyway, but what I was talking about was collards. So my first taste of collards, right? Shoney's lunch buffet. And plenty of mashed potatoes and plenty of collards and plenty of beans, right? And just coleslaw, and oh man, I just would have a heyday at that place. Not all of it was great, but most of it was pretty good. As a matter of fact, when I was there in last September, I stopped in at that very Shoney's and had the buffet for breakfast. Just to be there, just to remember me, Den, and the kids, you know. Just the three of them before Bonnie came along. Well, I'm starting to get hot and sweat because of this wig, and I got my AC off. So I'm going to put this on pause while I cool this room down a little bit. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. So a quick word about what I'm cooking here. Now, my beans, I gussied all up because Bonnie might be having some when she comes. And my collards I did not gussy up. I put most of my vegetable broth in there, like half of a box, which has kind of greatly reduced my amount of vegetable broth now because I only have like half a container left for the rest of the 2 weeks. Though I'm definitely going shopping soon to pick up the chicken and the stuff I want to make for Bonnie when she comes. Have that all done. Probably going to need some new freezer containers because I've run out. But that's okay because I'll use them. So my collards are just vegetable broth and water and collards. Now you could add onions and bacon. You could add onions and sausage or a piece of ham or all three if you so choose. I know that the light's going on and off and on and off in the background. I don't know why. Well, something's done. Oh, I don't know exactly if it's done. Can you see? Well, you can't see my collards, but you can see me, and let me tell you what's happening here. They're nice and green, They've been boiling maybe, I just did 5 minutes, and no, that ain't right, so I'm gonna put it back on. Hey, my potatoes are boiling. Everything's happening at once around here. I'm gonna lower that down. So I'm boiling my potatoes, and my potatoes, I like to keep it simple. I'm gonna throw some butter in there and some milk, and I don't have my beaters anymore. I had to whip that sucker up. Instead, I'm gonna take whatever I've got, which is probably gonna be a fork, and I'm gonna just smash it all up. Smashed potatoes. How southern is that? So that's 5 more minutes in. Let's stab something, shall we? Yeah, that's good. That's done. The center core, nice and soft. Still leafy. Potatoes need some more time. I'm going to strain those collards out so they don't overcook. I don't mind if the beans overcook, and I don't even mind if the potatoes cook a little too much. Quiet! I just don't want the collards to get too mushy. I don't know, I like mushy. They're going to be frozen and then unfrozen. Actually, there's not that many collards left, look. Where's the camera? That's the camera. I mean, that thing was just full to the top, right? It ain't anymore. Go figure. Ooh, they're going to be so good with some lemon and oil on it. I might not be able to taste it very much, but the lemon and the oil gives it that something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, alright, hang on. So I just had the most brilliant idea. I says to myself, I don't really want my collards in the broth, right? So I've pulled most of my collards out of that broth, and I've got them draining. But I also have a lovely amount of broth with some other collards inside, and I do believe that is going to be the base for a soup that I would like to make. Kind of a country minestrone. And that's what I'll use those other potatoes for that are sitting raw in cold water. I'd like to make this. I have this old hippie cookbook from the 70s. And let me see if I can find it. I found it at an antique store, and you can still get it from Amazon or Thrift Books or any of those, Abe Books. It is called The Vegetarian Epicure by Anna Thomas. Anna Thomas wrote some other books too, and I used to have all of her books. This I found up in New Hampshire in an antique store with Dennis and I was collecting all the 70 hippie books. And I liked this one because of its reference. Let me read it to you, if I can find it. Is it? No, it's not there. Where is that little ditty? Hang on a minute. Okay, so she's talking about, being a good hostess and planning your meals out, doing it in courses and whatnot. And I just found this just so adorable. Where is it? I've lost it again. That's me all over. This is awful. I just had it. Oh. So she says, so 2 hours later, course came to be. So she started doing her meals and courses. Because of vegetarianism, sometimes you get hungry shortly thereafter. This may consist of a great bowl of strawberries and a pot of cream, or maybe hot chocolate on a cold night, accompanied by thin slices of the torte that couldn't be finished earlier, or a platter of nuts and dried fruits with mulled wine. This 2 hours later course is especially recommended if grass is smoked socially at your house. I believe it when I saw that in her book. That's just adorable. I'm sorry, but I think it's adorable. So this is my book, and my favorite soup in it, she does crepes too. Where is that? Where is that soup? Come on. Just a minute. I've made you wait, I'm sorry. I guess it was this minestrone Milanese. So it's a vegetable soup that has beans, garlic, onion, olive oil, potatoes, carrots, zucchini, green beans, leeks. Though I used whatever I had back then. My favorite part is this, though. Basil, oregano. Well, actually, it's this one. Tomatoes, Parmesan, and butter. She would cut up raw tomatoes, and I would add raw garlic and raw basil to it, and olive oil, and then you have sprinkled Parmesan, and after you make this minestrone, you would put that tomato, Parmesan, and garlic and oil mixture on top of it, and then sprinkle your cheese on it, and it is the most delicious soup. So instead of the cabbage that's in this, I think, and instead of the leeks, I think I'm just going to do the onion, the pink beans, the garlic. I'm going to do the basil that's fresh outside. I have cabbage as well as I have all these collards sitting around. And I have the tomatoes, the garlic, and the Parmesan to make that lovely topping on it. So my broth is going to be used for that. Now, I'm sorry I've wasted a lot of your time in trying to find that weed reference. That's my favorite part of the book. It just made me laugh when I read it. And Dennis was like, that's in a published book from the 70s? Yes, it is. And if you're interested in this book, I really love it. It was by Vintage Books. Remember those with the little, I have a lot of their books. Vintage Books. And when was this published? Oh, what the heck. What else have you got to do but to sit here and watch me go through my pages trying to find a marijuana reference? I know there's some of you out there who don't approve. That's okay. So the original publishing was 1972, and this is a first edition, but it is really, really banged up. I have used this to death. Yes. I need a new one. But if I'm going on the road, I'm not going to get a new one. I shall be back when my food is ready on a plate. So I'm doing the mashed potatoes, chunk of butter, maybe it's a tablespoon. Butter, can't waste it. Touch of milk, some salt, a fork, mush, 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 a mushin'. I'm going to make you wait again. Want to see what I'm doing? I'm mushing them. I'll be right back. And now let me show you what I have. I have a 1.5 cups of cooked pink beans, a big old pile of collards, and probably, I don't know, 3/4 cup of mashed potatoes that has milk and butter in it. Good look at that. Oops. But if you're a vegan, your mashed potatoes can be simply boiled, drained potatoes with vegetable broth and some garlic all mashed up. And the way I did my collards was simply vegan, vegetable broth, collards. That's it. I put some salt, olive oil, and lemon on it. And now I'm going to enjoy my lunch, and then I'm going to pick up this mess. Dishes. What a chore. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for watching another Nikki Cooks video. Bye.